Hello and welcome. My name's Dr. Michael Robinson. I am an academic outreach specialist and associate faculty member here at UAGC. I am honored to be the host of this session. Are we there yet? Not yet. Student employment, the perfect pit stop to fuel up before graduation at UAGC. By joining us today, you acknowledge that this session is being recorded and will be shared with TLC related materials. Microphones will be muted for this presentation, but we encourage you to post questions and comments in the chat. Also, we have enabled live transcription. If you'd like to use it, click the Show Captions button at the bottom of your Zoom window. Now, I'm pleased to introduce this panel by passing it off to the wonderful Kira Heskey, Director of Learning Support here at UAGC.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robinson. I really appreciate the intro, and I'm very glad to be here with this amazing panel. And I want to just start with some introductions. My name is Kira Heskey. I am the Associate Director of Learning Support at UAGC, and I am joined today with Kiri Storley. And part of the reason why we're working together is to differentiate Kiri and Kira. Finally, Kiri, she is our Student Success Program Manager. We're also joined today by Evan Gray, who's our Associate Director of Student Success, and Millie Tisnick, who is the Senior Lead Learning Support Specialist. We're also joined by Rebecca Good, who's the Community Manager, and finally, Vanessa Greaves, who is our Student and Alumni Engagement Specialist. So that is our panel for today. And just to kind of set the stage and set the mood for this particular topic, we do want to start off with a former student employee, Melissa Galais. She has a testimonial here. She is now working at UAGC, and her testimonial, I think, will help to kind of ground us in what we're going to be talking about today. So we'll go ahead and play that video.
My name is Melissa Galais, and I am a student and a mentor in the CHAMPS program at UAGC. I am graduating in 2024 with a bachelor's in business administration. I'm a military spouse. We're an active duty Army family, so we've moved around a lot. Right now, we're stationed in Fort Carson in Colorado. I was always very shy, and I always kept to myself, and I was always introverted. So I started an online university thinking that that wouldn't change, but I did learn that that's not the case. When I first started the university, I was paired with a mentor through CHAMPS, and that helped me tremendously because when you're in those first couple classes, there are a lot of things you can miss, and having the opportunity to meet with other students and to network within the university is so important because it really enriches the experience of an online university. My experience working with the CHAMPS program has allowed me to really come out of my shell and to be a more active part of the university. I enjoy helping people, and this gives me an opportunity to take what I know, what I've learned from the university over the past few years, and pass along that knowledge to help somebody else.
Melissa Lee Galais.
I am proud to be UAGC because it has given me the opportunity to earn my bachelor's degree in a capacity that I didn't think was possible, being an online learner, being a mother, being a military spouse, and it has given me all the tools and resources that I needed to be successful. I am working towards my MBA here at UAGC on the Smart Track program. And that's important to me because it shortens the time that I will be in the master's level program, and I'm trying to complete this master's while my husband is still active duty Army. I've actually just accepted a full-time position as a student success program coordinator in the CHAMPS program, so I will be an employee of UAGC. All these extra programs and everything that I'm a part of, it's because I want to better myself and I want to be a good example for my children.
All right, that was a wonderful way to start us off, and I'm glad Melissa is here in the audience as well so she could see that. Perfect. So let's get started with our panel questions. I'm going to start with Evan. Evan, I'm hoping you can tell us, what is the Federal Work Study Program for students at UAGC, and how did it begin, and how has it evolved over time?
Sure. So for those that aren't familiar with the program itself, I'll just kind of lay that out. Federal Work Study is a need-based program, so students must qualify and receive an award, similar to other students who receive Pell Grants or other need-based funding. Students work no more than 20 hours per week to allow time for their own studies, life commitments, and need to remain in good standing with the university. Students receive a paycheck every other week, just like all of us, for the hours that they work. The good part about this is the federal government subsidizes about 75% of the students' wages. and UAG provides the remaining portion. So this is really a win-win for all parties involved. Best of all, for all of our students, unlike a loan, a federal work study does not have to be paid back to the federal government, which is always good, making a fantastic way for students to gain real-world experience without incurring any more debt. And as you're going to hear today, our student employees wear many hats, and we're proud to have the opportunity to work with them every day.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. So, how do we start utilizing federal work study funds for online students? Aren't they usually used in a physical campus setting?
Yeah, that's correct. So about 8 years ago, when the CHAMPS program was very young, we had the opportunity to start to utilize federal work study funds as they became available. And I was one of one at that time trying to grow a program. So I really jumped at that opportunity. I was trying to launch CHAMPS by myself and knew that if I was able to gain some staff members, it would help us grow, at a much quicker pace. And so everyone needs to keep in mind, this was pre-COVID era. So the idea of employing remote workers was new to us, let alone student remote workers was a brand new concept and idea. We have great leadership that bought in, got the opportunity. We wrote a really good job description. And from there, the program has just grown, and we had the opportunity to have student employees working remotely.
That's incredible. Can you talk about how tapping into the life experiences of our adult learners enriches the quality of the work that's completed by those student employees?
Absolutely. I think this is probably my favorite part of being able to work with our students is tapping into some of those just life experiences, of our adult online learners. I remember the very first CHAMPS chat that we conducted during those years. For those that have been around, we were using Adobe Connect to meet virtually. And so when I met with our students for the very first time, I quickly just realized, we're not working with younger 18-year-old type students. And it really didn't hit me until that first meeting that I was amongst very experienced students. I remember that very first one, we had military affiliated students, first-time college students, retired business owners, and many other walks of life. And what some of the students maybe lacked in education credentials says nothing about what they haven't learned through life experiences. And leaning into those experiences was critical in helping us ensure that they find student success with us. So we know they have ups and downs in their educational journey, many of which they have already met and overcome in their life's journey. And so it's just really an opportunity for us to tap into that, and we really appreciate it and try to lean into that as much as possible.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Evan. I really appreciate your answers to those questions. And again, it's so inspiring to see all the work you do with Champs and continue to do. I'm going to move on to Kiri now. Kiri, can you tell us about what types of responsibilities student employees have that increase their sense of belonging at the university?
Yeah, I have the honor of overseeing our student employees and their day-to-day interactions. My role is embedded in the CHAMPS mentoring program that Evan mentioned, where we're connecting newer students at the university with our experienced mentors that have proven their success in their degree program. That being said, our student employee role does have a wide variety of responsibilities that reside within a few different university departments. You'll hear from a few today. I'm the hub that connects all those duties and organizes them into one student employee role, but it's really not one size fits all for student employees. Having a hand in multiple arenas at the university allows me to observe individual strengths and really help facilitate the best tasks for each employee. Many of us here have witnessed the power of peer-to-peer interaction, and our own students are telling us they want to hear from others that have been in their seat who can really relate to them as an online learner on a realistic level. Student employees provide support to other UAGC students through peer mentoring, peer academic tutoring, student engagement, social media, promotion of honor societies, as well as clubs and organizations, but also as a part of the student employee program. They provided leadership and development opportunities to foster their own growth and development at the university and further prepare them for their own careers. A great example of this is when our academic team is ready to deploy new verbiage for UAGC classrooms. Our student employees are the first reviewers, and their feedback influences edits before it gets implemented. Another example, one of our current student employees is helping with the tech for this conference, so you may have seen him already today. Our student employees gain a sense of belonging by being so involved with the inner workings of Student Connection. And at the same time, they're providing other students a sense of belonging by being their go-to for all things UAGC. The most recent improvement that we're working on for the student employee program is providing them with their own executive mentor within the UAGC community. When we invest in our student employees, they invest in us, and there's a mutual trust in this relationship that's providing a win on both sides.
Wow, that's fantastic. Speaking of wins, can you tell us what some of the student success assistants have gone on to do when they finish their work study program?
Oh, yeah, this is the really exciting part. Let me try share my sound here. And okay, so like Evan mentioned, we've had student employees around for almost a decade now. Many of them have gone on to do prestigious things in their fields. We've even had some student employees become faculty members at UAGC. So this chart here represents 11 student employees that have finished their program this year. Now, typically finishing their program means that they have graduated. The majority are either working at UAGC in a full-time capacity or they're working full-time in their career field. One person went on to their master's, another prestigious event, and two fell into the other category but aren't unknown. One of those employees was moving across the country and getting married, while the other had a baby right at graduation, so she was going to do the mom thing for a while. So when they leave us, regardless of what their next step is in their journey, they're stepping out into their communities in a really positive way. But you don't have to take my word for it. Here is a note from Alexandra, one of our past student employees.
Hi, my name is Alexandra. I had originally started off with the CHAMPS program as a student success assistant, and growing and working with the students there, I had learned that I love working with students and I love helping them to grow and accomplish not only their degree programs and their schooling, but helping them learn more about themselves. Moving from the CHAMPS program, I had applied for a permanent position here at the University of Arizona Global Campus as an academic advisor, who I now work with a population of almost 400 students, who I have now graduated about 30 to 45 students in the last 7 months that I have worked here. And I have been a part of all their success, and being able to experience that is definitely more than well worth it. And it all started with CHAMPS.
Right, and you've heard Melissa's story, but this is Michelle Ruiz, who is also working full-time in the CHAMPS program.
Hello, my name is Michelle Reese. I have a journey I would like to share with you all on how I ended up working for the CHAMPS program. I have been with the CHAMPS program since 2014 when it first started. I was first asked to become a mentor and start mentoring students. I accepted that. In 2016, I was brought on as a federal work study student, still mentoring other students. The next portion of my journey started in 2017 as a part-time employee with the CHAMPS program as a program coordinator. In the next step of this journey, in 2020, I accepted a full-time position in the CHAMPS program as a student success program coordinator. I enjoy my time working with students for the CHAMPS program and here at the University of Arizona Global Campus. Since the University of Arizona Global Campus has a wonderful opportunity for students to work for the federal work study program as a student, it gave me the opportunity to work for CHAMPS at the university, and I love it.
Right. And I have one more for you. Received a testimonial from This Is Our Monique. After taking a leap of faith in leaving the traditional office environment to work remotely, I had a difficult time landing a remote job, mainly because I grew up in poverty and did not feel like I belonged or could align myself with other diverse cultures. However, accepting the work-study role as a mentor with CHAMPS provided the opportunity for me to gain remote experience, boost my confidence in public speaking, land a full-time job as a student response specialist, and become a top performer over the entire department my first month. I am forever grateful for the time as a mentor because not only did I have the opportunity to work with a group of diverse students, helping them reach their goals, but I was also able to reach my goals and gain the knowledge needed to be successful in my current role. Thank you, Evan, Kiri, Elvia, Michelle, Larissa, and Melissa for sharing your own similar experiences and for seeing something great in me that I did not see in myself. Most importantly, I learned it's okay to be yourself and that I have so much to offer the world. Thanks again, CHAMPS, for providing a community of support to underserved students. And I say thank you, Monique, and all of our past student employees. You are most appreciated. Back to you, Kira.
Thank you so much. Wow, those are inspiring. I had goosebumps the entire time. Those are wonderful testimonials. Speaking of testimonials, I had to do testimonial format for one of our panelists today. Millie Tisnick was not able to be here live, but before she left, I asked her this question. I asked her, can you tell us how you became motivated to be involved in supporting the Federal Work-Study Program through a first-year peer tutoring program, which we launched this year, and how peer tutoring can help both the tutor and the tutee grow in their sense of belonging. So we'll go ahead and play that video of Millie.
Thanks, Kira. So I will start by sharing just my own personal experience with Federal Work Study, and that's what motivated me to be involved with this at UAGC. I was part of Federal Work Study when I was in college, and I was a peer tutor, actually, and it directly led me to the career that I have right now with UAGC. I'm in academic support. I've been in this career for over 11 years now. But when I was in college and I was doing the Federal Work Study initially, that was not the path that I was on. That I wanted to be in education, but I was not really aware of having a career in university academic support. But this led me to that idea of it, but it gave me the experience that I needed to start out in that career. So I just love that this is an opportunity for students to, of course, gain experience because they gain such valuable experience. But the idea that it could, ignite something in them to move into a career that maybe they hadn't considered, or maybe they just weren't even aware of. So I love it for that. Now, I work with the student employees through the peer tutoring program. And the peer tutoring program is set up to support some of those, 4 of those early courses, some of those entry-level courses, those first-year courses. And students in those courses, they can work with a peer tutor. We have drop-in open office hours, and during certain times, Monday through Thursday. And during those times, a student in those classes can just pop in at any point, and they can speak with a student, another UAGC student who has been successful in that class. And this helps to create this great sense of belonging, both for the tutor and for the student getting tutored, the tutee. So I'll give you some ideas of how the tutee can gain a greater sense of belonging, and there are several ways. So they are connecting with another student in real time, someone who is also working through this fast-paced and asynchronous UAGC course. They can see how others, their tutor, maybe has had other similar experiences or time management struggles, just how they've maybe struggled and how they have worked through that struggle, how they've overcome it, and what did they do to become successful academically. Through the peer tutors, they also get to learn about the academic supports provided by UAGC, and they learn about it from someone who has used them firsthand. And this helps to connect them with the university itself. Now, the tutors, they also gain a strong sense of belonging through their employment. They are also connecting with other students by mentoring and tutoring another student. They are investing in another student. Like I mentioned, it can motivate them to visualize a professional career, either one that they initially chose, or perhaps opening them to potential careers that they had not considered. And of course, it does give them that real experience that connects them to their future career. And then lastly, it will increase their belonging to the university in general by becoming increasingly aware of the UAGC resources and the operations of UAGC, seeing how a university operates and knowing that they're a part of that.
All right. So thank you, Millie, for recording that for us so that we could hear your perspectives on that. And we're going to move on to Rebecca. Rebecca Good, I'm going to ask you a question and ask you specifically, can you describe the impact of students engaging with other students through social media posts and events that you host?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kira. Peer-to-peer engagement through social media posts and events have a profound impact on students, especially in an online learning environment like UAGC. First and foremost, I believe it helps foster genuine connections between students by interacting through comments, likes, and responses. Students can relate to each other's experiences, share their challenges, celebrate achievements. This type of interaction builds a strong sense of belonging. And when students see others facing similar journeys, whether it's balancing work life and school, or just simply pushing through those difficult assignments, it reinforces that they are part of a community. And this sense of community is incredibly powerful in an online setting where students might otherwise feel isolated. In addition to building these connections, these interactions are also creating a robust support system for them. Students share helpful tips, UAGC resources, which I love, and words of encouragement. Peer support can be instrumental in motivating someone who might feel overwhelmed or unsure, whether it's advice on time management, suggestions for study techniques, or just simply offering a word of encouragement after a super tough week. These small little moments of peer engagement help students feel more supported.
Rebecca, I've seen it firsthand. I've been to many of your events, and the chat just goes crazy with students engaging with one another and sharing support. And so it's just wonderful what you do. So thank you for that. So how do you think sharing personal milestones and challenges in an online learning environment inspire and support other students?
Thank you, Kira. I love seeing it too. I love it. When students share their milestones, such as completing an assignment or reaching a new academic goal, others are inspired too, just like me and you when we see it. This not only boosts the personal motivation of the student sharing their story, but it also encourages others to keep moving forward as well. And seeing those peers succeed and hearing their stories of perseverance can be incredibly motivating for students who might be feeling stuck, or unmotivated. It also reminds them that progress is possible, no matter how small, and it creates a positive cycle of inspiration and achievement. And another important aspect of peer engagement is that it normalizes common challenges, because online students often juggle multiple responsibilities, just like we've seen here with a lot of our examples. It is so easy to feel like you're the only one struggling with time management or balancing personal and academic commitments. When students see others openly discussing these challenges, it not only normalizes the experience, but it also creates that opportunity for shared problem solving. Students can offer advice, share how they've overcome similar hurdles, or just simply empathize with one another, reducing those feelings of isolation.
So important. Do you think there's a possibility that these peer interactions can help create lasting networks as well?
Absolutely. Beyond the academic experience, students form connections that can extend into their personal lives as well. One of my favorite examples of this is an interaction that I've seen this year with the class of 2024, sharing fun things that they wanted to do as a group. They became so connected through a specific Facebook group for the class of 2024 that they were meeting in person and have continued to support each other well after graduation. These networks are invaluable, whether they provide career advice, mentorship, or even just job opportunities later down the line. Essentially, peer-to-peer engagement through social media and virtual events strengthens the sense of community. It provides support, normalizes those challenges that we talked about, and motivates students to stay on track with their academic and personal goals, which is difficult. It turns the virtual learning space into a dynamic, connected, and supportive environment.
Oh, such great work. And I want to do a quick side note before we move on to Vanessa, who I'm going to be talking to about UAGC Connect. But thank you, Rebecca, for your time. But we believe so strongly in the power of these sessions that I actually just recently worked with Rebecca to create an HTML announcement, which I'm going to be posting in the chat. So if you are a faculty member at UAGC and are interested in promoting these Facebook Live events, please take this HTML and use it in your courses. And we also have one for UAGC Connect and also one for Champs, and I'll put them all in the chat near the end. So thank you so much, Rebecca. That was awesome. Okay, Vanessa, how does the involvement of a student employee on the UAGC Connect platform, how does that help to create a sense of community and belonging for students in that virtual setting?
Yes, thank you, Kira. So first, what I wanted to share is that as the Student and Alumni Engagement Specialist, my role centers around creating connections between students and alumni and UAGC through our unique networking platform we like to refer to as our virtual student union here, and that is called UAGC Connect.
All right, fantastic. That does sound really impactful. So for our audience, can you give a quick overview of how UAGC Connect supports online students?
Yes, absolutely. So UAGC Connect is an exclusive platform where our online learners engage and network outside of the classroom, building that essential sense of community and belonging. It is the starting point for our students and alumni to check out what is happening across the university outside of the classrooms. They're encouraged to join a club or community, check out our peer mentoring program, Champs, attend events, access various resources, and engage with classmates by beginning their journey on UAGC Connect. It's essentially where students and alumni can feel a part of something bigger.
I just love it. So that's really important, especially in an online environment, for students to get that sense of connection. And I think we all can remember joining a community where we felt connected and supported. So I just want to know, Vanessa, how do student employees play a bigger part in this? Can you tell me more about the role for student employees specifically?
Yes, of course. So our student employees are key to fostering that sense of community. What they do is they collaborate with the student engagement team, which is myself and a couple of others. They spark conversations, they respond to posts, and engage in various clubs and communities that are housed within this platform, UAGC Connect. So their involvement, just like Rebecca mentioned, it encourages peer-to-peer support. They help students feel comfortable sharing their experiences, seeking advice, and just communicating with each other overall.
That's awesome. Peer support is just so valuable. Can you share any specific examples of how their engagement has made a measurable impact?
Yeah, definitely. So just last month, thanks to their active participation over the last few weeks, the engagement and activity on UAGC Connect has increased by over 20%.
Wow.
They lead initiatives like welcoming new students. They promote the events that are going around, such as our virtual career fair we just had a couple weeks ago. They offer support, and it has really strengthened students' connection to the university.
Oh, that's incredible. Wow. I just so many success stories and they so many start with student employees. So it's just great that we have so many opportunities for them to engage. So speaking of engagement, this is to all the panelists. I would love to hear your perspective on this. You've all described some meaningful examples of students building a sense of belonging through connection to fellow students. So I want to know now, is there any way that UAGC faculty and staff, anybody attending that is from UAGC, that how can we encourage and promote these opportunities that are available here with students? Like, what are your what's your advice on how faculty and staff can support these initiatives and help basically drive traffic to these student engagement opportunities? Vanessa, do you want
Yeah,
to start? Yeah,
yeah, I can speak to that.
awesome.
So faculty and staff can play a powerful role by fostering student connections by actively promoting UAGC Connect in their classrooms, which they do. So thank you. And also by engaging directly into the platform, encouraging students to join discussions, share resources, and participate in events. Creates the environment where students feel more connected and supported. Faculty and staff can also contribute by creating relevant posts, sharing industry insights, or even just taking on roles as a club advisor, which adds a meaningful mentorship element to the community. So small gestures like responding to student posts or guiding students toward helpful resources can help the students feel seen and valued. For anyone interested in getting more involved with that, you can reach out to me at studentorgs@uagc.edu, and we can explore ways to enhance these opportunities.
Fantastic. I just posted in the chat some of those HTML announcements that we talked about.
Oh, yes.
So thank you for that, Vanessa, and also for providing your email. That's really helpful. Rebecca, I think you were going to respond to this as well, like how faculty and staff can potentially partner to support these student engagement opportunities.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kira. And very similar to
Yeah.
what Vanessa just said. I feel like we're in such a similar space. We need to team up, Vanessa, and conquer. Faculty
Yes.
and staff at UAGC are already playing such a crucial role in fostering the student connections, building that sense of belonging within our learning community. One of the most impactful ways that they continue to improve this is by just actively participating in those online discussions or even our official Facebook groups. I'm biased. But when students see faculty and staff engaging in these spaces, whether it's by responding to comments or offering words of encouragement, it reinforces the idea that UAGC is invested in their experience beyond just academics. This kind of interaction also breaks down the barriers a little bit and encourages students to connect with each other more freely as it models the behavior that we would love to see in these online communities. But I would love to see staff and faculty contribute by promoting any Facebook Live sessions, just like the links that Kira just shared in the chat. Any of those coming up or our group communities, feel free to join those. That would encourage them to interact outside of the classroom. So that also encourages them to attend these events or communities, even if they aren't course related. It helps them kind of see the value in building those peer relationships, which I feel is so important for creating a sense of community online.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rebecca.
Mhm.
Evan, do you want to give us some parting words, ways that faculty might be able to partner with you, faculty and staff?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the old phrase, if you build it, they will come, applies here. We've discussed in detail today all these kind of co-curricular opportunities, things outside of the classroom and outside of their individual academic program. But if faculty have opportunity to obtain funding or budget dollars, whatever it might be, students gain such valuable life experience, work experience, working alongside of us. Good example of that is the Online Student Success Initiative Fund. I worked with
Oh,
some
that's a good
faculty
idea.
members to help develop a proposal they were working on to work on opportunities within their individual academic program. I guarantee you, if you build it and you have the opportunity to work with the students, they provide such good value. And as you see them move on, graduate, move on in their careers, moving on ahead, it's a win-win for everybody. So if you build it, they will certainly come, and we have wonderful students that will absolutely take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, Evan, you've provided plenty of evidence that that is true in what you've done in growing the Champs Peer Mentor Program. You've shown that that works. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to actually ask the audience now to engage and answer this question in chat. Can you tell me some ideas or current practices you have for engaging students to take advantage of opportunities to engage with other students? Is there something you've either gleaned from this presentation today that you're planning on using moving forward? Or do you have your own ideas of ways that you can potentially promote these opportunities to get student employees involved? So yeah, I'm going to be looking in the chat. Hopefully we'll get some feedback from the audience about some ideas. Shout out to Rebecca here. I love it. Creating the 2024 Facebook group. That's fantastic. That sounds like it's such a really good networking opportunity and great way that students are connecting. Love that. Yes, and if you have not attended a Facebook Live event that Rebecca hosts, I absolutely encourage you to do so. Maybe somebody could drop that link into the chat as well, because to the events page, I'm telling you, that is such a wonderful place for students to connect. I've seen it so much engagement on during the chat. They go crazy during those live events. They're fantastic. And I will just do a slight plug for my team as well. I oversee the Library and Writing Center and tutoring services. And Louie and Karen oftentimes will do a Writing Center and Library Facebook Live event with Rebecca. And they are well attended and they're lively and fun. And students get a lot out of those sessions. So keep checking back on that page and make sure you promote those to students. Not seeing very much in the way. Oh, thank you for putting that in the chat, Vanessa. That's fantastic, the events page. But does anyone have any ideas that they want to share about ways that they can encourage students to engage in some of these platforms? Engagement opportunities with other students? Oh, look at, posting all of the Facebook groups. Fantastic. That's really good. And you could share those with your students as well. Those are really wonderful groups for students to be aware of, and they can network and join with other students. All right, we still have some time. I do have one more question that I can ask. I'm going to ask Takiri, and then after that, I'm going to open it up for any questions or comments from the community that has attended this session. So I'm going to ask you, Kiri. We've heard a lot today about successes that we've had with student employees today, but we haven't talked too much about the challenges. So I was hoping maybe you could spend a little time talking about some of the challenges you've observed.
Yeah, of course. I think Rebecca mentioned progression too. Success doesn't come from perfection, but rather consistent development over time, especially in this role. We have to remember that these are full-time students with families and priorities outside of their 20 hours a week with us. I mean, to say that these student employees are busy is an understatement. We've had student employees that stumble with technology and maybe a fast-paced environment working on the back end of their online university systems they've never seen before. Phone calls, they've maybe never had the volume of having to call a stranger 20 times in a day. Sometimes we're asking them to do something they haven't done before and work in those systems that they've never experienced. So there is some learning curve. Maybe life just gets hard. I mean, we're all people, right? Sometimes they'll end up MIA, kids get sick, things come up, such as life. Communicating obstacles and working through them together is just another way to find growth as an aspiring professional. But let me tell you, these student employees are really the best of the best at UAGC. And if you have not met them, I can't wait for you to meet them. You'll want to look for Ernest Walker, David Price, Christina Faez, and Leandra LeBlanc. Those are our current student employees. So if you get a chance to work with them, please highlight their graces.
They are amazing. And some of those things that you just mentioned, some of those opportunities for growth are just such important growth opportunities for all of us, right? Life skills and work skills that these student employees are growing into, which will benefit them going forward. So I just appreciate all the work you do, Kiri, in helping to grow those skills with those students. That's fantastic. Okay, we're going to open up now for any questions or comments from the audience. If anybody has any questions for any of the panelists, now would be a fantastic time time to ask those questions. Oh, and thank you. Sally put the session evaluation form in the chat as well, which is very helpful. Thank you. Anyone have any questions for any of the panelists or want further explanation on anything we discussed today? I don't see anybody typing. Well, and then again, I might not be able to see the typing. Maybe,
Stephanie's
maybe
typing.
they just show. Oh, Stephanie. Oh, you can
Yep.
see the typing. Ooh,
Yeah,
fancy.
she's
Okay, fantastic.
typing. We'll give her a
Oh, and
minute.
Stephanie's got yes, and Stephanie now I see too says question about work study. Give me a moment to type. No pressure though, Stephanie. No pressure at all.
I just want to add too, Stephanie had a really good comment before when talking about reaching out to students. She said mass communication's great, but personal invitations to students are better. See a
Yeah.
great fit, make a recommendation to join a fit. That is so true because it becomes personalized and it's more
Mhm.
meaningful for the student that way.
So true. Good point, Dr. Robinson. That's such a good point.
I'll answer Stephanie's question.
Yes.
So one of the other aspects, Stephanie, is we try to not bog them down with meetings, right? We have a team meeting. They obviously meet with us individually, but we do have certain times that we are dedicated to working with them and coaching them along and developing, or just need general updates. So if you ever would love to have that time or join us for that time, we'd love for you to meet them, and we can absolutely make that happen. So other than that, we try to let them be student facing, right? We want the majority of their time connecting with peers and making the most of it.
All right. That's good to know. Stephanie, I think that would be really, really wonderful. By the way, the current student employees are wonderful at providing feedback. Millie has told me personally too that they've been involved in a lot of the decisions that have been made about how to handle peer tutoring and the messaging and all that. So they certainly are a wealth of feedback and opportunity for insights from the student perspective. So highly encourage that. That's fantastic. All right. Any other comments or questions?
I noticed Vanessa typed something really important before too, that
Oh.
just mentioning the more opportunity they have in groups like this, the more opportunity they have for swag. So we know that students love swag,
They
and
do.
that could be the carrot to get them to join. So
I love it.
mention
It's so
it.
true. They have good swag too. I mean, there's no joke. It's good stuff. So yeah, it's very motivating. It's fun. And it also builds that community, right? I mean, even though we're in an online institution, you're still part of a, college community, and we have pride for UAGC and get to wear the swag. I think it's fantastic. All right. Any other comments or questions? This has been great, by the way. I hope you've all gotten a lot out of the session. I hope it's been helpful to you. If you have any follow-up questions for any of the panelists, you're welcome to email. And if you only know my email, you can send it to me and I'll send it to the right person, whatever works. All right.
Autumn asked a
Oh, here's a
question.
question. Yes.
She said, any kind of reporting for at-risk students to provide these resources to?
What kind of reporting? Are we talking about like looking at-risk students as far as like signals, like maybe sending a targeted response to students that are struggling? Is that what you're referring to, Autumn?
Yeah, I'll just go off the menu. I think
Mhm.
signals would be probably the better way to
Mhm.
get a concentrated effort of communication out to those students who might be at risk for like either failing a class or attendance or anything where we can provide those resources where
I think that's
and I
such a
think
great
that's
idea. And I think the panelists can speak to this. There are signals templates available for some of these services. Champs Mentor does have one, right, Evan and Kiri?
Correct.
Okay, and there's a peer tutoring one as well. I know that. In the Signals repository, you'll find Champs and you'll find peer tutoring. Do we have any others from anyone on this panel? But that's a really good point. I mean, if you have a student in your course that's struggling, building that sense of community and connection with other students could be a really good way to get them feeling more supported and more secure and more interested in continuing on their education because they've got that support from other students and maybe more confident in that they can do it.
Yeah, we see a lot of students coming back from like dismissals and writing in their appeals, like trying to have more connection with other students and like peer tutoring and all that stuff. So I was just curious on how
That's
much
good.
of that's
That's good
available.
feedback. That's fantastic feedback. That's really good to know. Yes, let's definitely push those students to those resources, and Signals, I think, is probably the best way to do that. It's really good. Good point. Any other questions or comments?
I was just going to say that's another good way call to action. Any student-facing staff, faculty, whatever capacity you're working in, if you're noticing a student either struggling or being really successful, personally referring these types of things, these groups, these areas for them to participate in.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that, Kiri, especially those students that are doing everything right. They're the ones posting in class, they're the ones engaging on the boards. As you've seen over the years, we have a current great group. We also are currently hiring for one, and we love those referrals. So if you're personally interacting with students who you think might be a good fit, send them over to Kiri, let us know, because we are constantly on the lookout for who that next best student, is. So I think we all know who they are, good communicators, posting in class, posting early, just showing all the signs of, hey, this person's rocking and rolling. Maybe they are looking for more, so definitely send those over to Kiri, as we're always on the lookout for who the next student employee might be.
That's a really good point, and good timing too, Evan, since we do have an open position.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Shameless plug. If you have one,
That's fantastic.
somebody
Yeah.
who's commencing. Yes.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Oh, Werner is here, and he posted. Fantastic. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the students don't know, and if everybody can hear me, and alumni, we promote those and LinkedIn groups. Sorry about my background. I was trying to change it, but it didn't work. Anyway, we advertise them regularly. I know 50 Strong, who's also run by Candy Tillman, who's Pat Tillman's sister-in-law. Pat Tillman passed away during Desert Storm, and he was an Army Ranger. And everybody knows him in the NFL and all of that. So they do that regularly once a month. So students can attend these face-to-face breakout meetings, and and I often hear when I attend these events, the recruiters talking about having mentors and all of that. So talk about direct mentors of people that work in these massive corporations across the United States, as well as federal agencies. This is an ultimate way for students and our alumni to connect with these amazing organizations across the US. So that often gets overlooked. So any way that anyone's listening here and we promote these, just please promote them to all of our students and alumni, because this is the way to connect with them. Yes, we are fortunate that we have an amazing faculty and staff that do all these amazing things for our students to get to their degrees. But after, we want to connect them with success. So we want them to be successful. So I just wanted to share that too.
Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you, Werner. It's awesome. Vanessa's posting in the chat as well. Actively engaging UAGC Connect and Facebook groups. They respond to questions from students. Yeah, the supports do make a huge difference. Fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes I see in the platform, students are in there just asking a simple question like, oh, how do I turn in this project, or I'm lost, or even something like, hi, I've been here a week and I'm struggling with time management. What does everyone do? So our student employees, catch those and respond, and just having those, like we said earlier, those peer-to-peer connections really helps them out.
That's so good. Yes, absolutely. 100% agree with that. It means a lot more, I think, when it comes from another student, because they understand the experience and they're with them and understand exactly what they're going through. So important to have that engagement. All right.
Yeah, so what an amazing panel. I want to say thank you to all the presenters on the panel, and thank you to the audience for your participation in today's session. Sally has put the wonderful survey link in the chat. I can put it once again, but please use the survey linked in the chat to nominate TLC presentations for conference awards and share your feedback on this presentation. Short of saying vote for us, that's what you should be doing. I'll just say it.